Hey guys, it's Yomi. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be on everything that I've read for January. I do want to preface this by saying this is not my typical amount of books that I read a month, but it was a good month. Okay, so I do want to just let you know that I do have my statistics written down in my bullet journal, Roxanne, and my bullet journal, so I am going to go ahead and read off of those. And basically I'm just going to tell you what I think about these books. I don't want to tell you that I'm going to give you a synopsis of any of this because honestly I probably won't. I'm just going to tell you how I felt about it. Also, fair warning, my rating scale is based on what I like. I'm not a writer, so I can't tell you about the writing. I'm probably not going to explain the characters. I'm just going to go into 5 stars. Did I love it? Am I going to go back and read it? Am I going to tell my friends about it? Then yeah, that's a 5 star. I'm going to keep going back to it. 4 is it was great. I enjoyed it. It's just not going to be one of my favorites of the year. 3 is it was alright. It's probably not for me. It was good. And then 2 is like, I don't even think I'll pick this back up. And 1 is, yeah, never again. But I am going to also warn you, I don't usually have 2s and 1s because if I don't like the book, I'm going to drop it. I'm not going to force myself to read it, and then I'm not going to rate it negatively because I didn't finish it. It is what it is. This is the way I like to read, and I'm just going to take you along for that ride. Miss Roxanne. Alright, so I am going to first start off with my statistics just to let you know. So this month I did read 10 books. Most of them were audio or ebook or like clearly not here, so I will tell you about them and then just put a picture here for you so you know what they are. First to start off, the ratings. So it looks like I have 1 book that was 3 stars, 1 that was 3.5 stars, 4 that were 4 stars, and then 4 that were 5 stars. So like I said, 10 books, which total out to about 2,764 pages. And when I averaged that out, about 89 pages a day, which like I said is really good for me because if I get 1 book read for the month, I am proud of myself. So I also wrote down target age, so it was split half and half for young adult books and half for adult books. Roxanne. And half for adult books. So yeah, I'm gonna just pet Roxanne here so that she doesn't make noise during the video. As far as the format, like I said, most of them were not physical books. I had 1 physical book this month that I read, 4 audiobooks, and 5 ebooks. And this is not normal for me, but honestly, this has been a great month because I allowed myself to expand the way I like to read. Typically, I want a physical book. That is what it is. This is how I like. I love to smell the book. I will sit there and stop reading just so I can smell that new book smell. It's me, but I had to learn that realistically, 1, I don't have the money for physical books at all times, and ebooks are usually a lot cheaper. Also, I can borrow them from the library. I had to sit here and be realistic with myself, so I went ahead and I did a lot of that. So, based on that, I've only read 1 book physical, 1 physical book, which is Scythe right here. The rest of them were either audiobooks, which were 4 of them, or ebooks, which I read 5 of them. As far as genre, I broke it down in my statistics to 3 categories: fiction, nonfiction, and sci-fi fantasy. So for fiction, I had 5, nonfiction was only 1 of them, and then sci-fi and fantasy, there was 4. I also wanted to break down ethnicities for me so that I can make sure that I'm reading more diversely. I understand there is some brownness to my skin, so I know that I want to make sure that I expand and I read an equal amount of everyone. So right now I have 1 Hispanic or Latinx author. I had 2 African American or Black authors, 1 Asian, and 4 white authors. And now I'm going to go ahead and tell you the books that I read and tell you what I felt about them and like this. Right, so now I'm going to go ahead and talk about the books. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and talk about the books that I read for December. They are in no particular order, just whatever I physically have in my hands, and then I'll tell you about the rest, and I'll just make sure to put a picture up here like I said, and I'll tell you what I thought. So the first book I want to start with is Scythe. I read this first in the beginning of the month. It is a book where you live in a world where death has been conquered, and the only way to die is if a scythe has chosen you to die. They do each have their own methods of how they choose. One of them chooses statistics, the other one goes ahead and just does mass murders. But this is basically one of the scythes decides to take on 2 apprentices, Citra and Rowan, and they are learning to become a scythe. But at the end of it all, only one of them can become a scythe. And so we go from there. There is 2 more books. I do want to read them. I did enjoy this book so much that I gave it a 5 out of 5. It was freaking amazing, and then I gasped whenever things would happen. And like, if I have to yell at a book or fight with it, it was a great book. that's just how I choose my 5 out of 5s. I gasped. I got upset. I was angry. Great. The next one I did choose for my favorite book of the month, because I am going to choose one every month, and it was The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Now, this was popular, is still most likely popular in book 2, but basically, Evelyn Hugo decides that she wants to reach out to a writer, Monique, and she's going to tell her whole life story for the first time ever. The reasons behind why she has 7 husbands. I cried, I got mad, I was happy, I understood when she was hurt and why she protected her family. I was so convinced that Evelyn Hugo was a real person that I had to sit here and like look it up and remember, nope, she's a fictional character. It's so good. I went ahead and told Courtney to read it, and I got snapped that she was upset with me because why didn't I tell her? This is why it's my favorite book. I cried. I don't cry. I cried. Thanks. So I obviously 5 out of 5. The next one I have here is The Outsiders. I listened to this one on audiobook. I did also listen to Evelyn Hugo, but that was another one. But I listened to this one on audiobook. It's basically about these groups in this town. One of them are the poorer ones, they're the greasers. The other ones are the richer ones, they're the socias. And they've always just on site had a battle against them, right? And then Ponyboy, who's one of the greasers, he ends up one day with his friend at a drive-in, and they're watching a movie with these Soch girls, and then they go to walk them to go get a car and bring them home, but their boyfriends see them and they get them. Afterwards, him and his friend are out in the park because things just happen in his life, and they end up getting jumped by the Sochas, and in order to defend him, his friend stabs and kills one of the other people, and you basically see this unfold. It was alright. I'm probably not gonna try to reach for it again. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. It's an older book. I don't know if that had anything to do with it, or if maybe I'm just not in that mentality anymore, but like, it was alright, so 3.5. Then the last physical book that I have is Becoming. And Becoming, I did listen to it on audiobook. I have attempted to read it, and for some reason I can't like get into it that way, but listening to Michelle Obama tell her own life story and how everything has led her to the person she is today, I loved it. I feel like I was fangirling over her. I probably am, and I'm okay with that. Don't judge me, but I loved it. So this is definitely a 5 out of 5. I love seeing where she came from and the understanding that she has as a person. Like, I don't know if I could do with my husband always having to be out somewhere else, like, or living half the time somewhere else, but that she's a strong person, independent, and she just made it work. And you know what, that's her. So those are all the ones I have physically. I'm going to try to make it stand up. If they fall, don't judge me. All right, and then the rest of them, I'm going to go ahead and just talk to you and put up a picture here. So the next 2 books that I have on my list are Heartstoppers 1 and 2, which is a graphic novel about this one teenager. I forget character names, I'm sorry. But basically, he's gay and in all-boys school, and everybody the year before has made fun of him. He's a sophomore. This year he ends up in school and he makes a friend that's a junior, and this friend absolutely doesn't care that he's gay. Everyone's questioning why are you friends with him, and he's just like, because he's a cool person. And basically you watch their friendship unfold. If you see the cover, it's absolutely cute. You know where the story is basically going. So just you'll know where the story is going, and it was beautiful. I did go ahead and give those 2 4 out of 5 stars. They were cute. I enjoyed them. Not my favorite. That has nothing against them. 4 out of 5 is a really good rating, but they both got 4 out of 5s. The next one I'm going to talk about What If It's Us by Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera. This is a book about Ben, who lives in New York, and Arthur, who's visiting as an internship into New York. And basically they met at a post office, and they liked each other so much that they end up going and looking for each other and trying to pursue this relationship in the short time that Arthur is here. It was alright. It was cute. Not for me at all. And I don't know if it's just because it's young adult, which I doubt it, because based on my statistics, I read half and half and I enjoyed them, or it's just I'm not in that teenager angst feeling anymore, and I think that has more to do with me as an adult and nothing against this writing. So I gave it a 3 out of 5. It was good. It's just not for me. It's probably for anyone else. It was good, just not mine. And then the last 3 books I read are all part of the same graphic novel series, and it was Alex and Ada volumes 1, 2, and 3. And basically, Alex lives in this world where AI intelligence robots are here. At one point, the creators were trying to make them sentient, and it went bad, and those robots went and massacred a mass amount of people, and so all robots were banned from being sentient. And for his birthday, his grandmother sent him an AI as like a girlfriend, but Alex just was not having it because she doesn't have her own opinions, because obviously she can't have any of her own opinions, and he hated it. So what he did was reach out and look for a way to make that change, and it's illegal, so he had to hide it. And so we see it unfold from the time that Alex basically gives her the ability to be sentient to like the end of the story. So the first volume I gave a 5 out of 5. I adored it, and the last 2 I gave a 4 out of 5. They were really good. I do have to say I was mad at the ending, but I don't think that has anything to do with the authors. I just wanted a happy little Cinderella story ending, and he didn't give it to me. But it was cute. It was alright. It was cute. I'm mad it wasn't Cinderella. That's my problem though. Other than that, that's everything I read for January. This is what I read. If you want to know anything else, if you want to see anything else, don't forget to subscribe. I will be trying to upload once a week and be consistent with that. But otherwise, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you on the next video. Peace out.